Ha-cha-cha, you are welcome. I don't know why I said that. I was supposed to say hoo-ah, that soldier-like thing. Hoo-ah, that's what we said. Welcome back to, or welcome for the first time, to 189, where I'm commenting on 1,199 chapters in 1,199 days. Yep, it's gonna be fun. We're in day 27. Isn't that interesting? We have some more to go. Not just some, a lot more. But today, yeah, it's just Jacob and Esau trying to get the blessings, trying to get the birthright as well. So we'll get into that right now.
Chapter 27. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old, and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son, and said unto him,
My son.
And he said unto him,
Behold, here am I.
And he said,
Behold, now I am old. I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison, and make me savory meat such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die.
And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying,
Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat, and bless thee before the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock, and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death.
And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother,
Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing.
And his mother said unto him,
Upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice, and go fetch me them.
And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother. And his mother made savory meat such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands, and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father and said,
My father.
And he said,
Here am I. Who art thou, my son?
And Jacob said unto his father,
I am Esau thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit, and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me.
And Isaac said unto his son,
How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son?
And he said,
Because the Lord thy God brought it to me.
And Isaac said unto Jacob,
Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not.
And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said,
The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau.
And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him, and he said,
Art thou my very son Esau?
And he said,
I am.
And he said,
Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee.
And he brought it near to him, and he did eat, and he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him,
Come near now, and kiss me, my son.
And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment.
Hold on, there's just too many connections between, whatchamacallit, the bread and the wine, the bread and the meat. So he brings him bread and venison, which is bread and meat. So Jesus said, if you eat of my body and drink of my blood, then you have life. But if you don't have life. And he said, I'm the bread that came down from heaven. So he is, it's like the meat, bread, and then the wine. So with Isaac having this, I just saw a connection there. I don't know how it could make sense to any of us, any of you, or me, but yeah, I just think there's something there, or not. Sometimes we make stuff there that's not actually make things important that are not actually important. So yeah, just maybe. just a maybe. I wanted to comment on Esau and Jacob, but let's just wait till Esau gets his part as well.
And blessed him and said,
See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore, God give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee.
Right, so Jacob comes to him and says, let thy soul bless me. So he had to please his soul in order for the blessing to come to him. So now we see this with other people like Paul, when he said to the Romans, that I might impart some spiritual blessing to you. So the blessing comes from the choice of the one whom God has chosen. So like with Paul, he chose that, okay, these guys have now come to maturity. Now I can give them more. I can maybe bless, give them the ability to multiply financially, ability to multiply in wisdom, in knowledge, in visions, in whatever, just whatever it is. It's the blessing of the Father to the Son. So now I heard the story of do I want to tell stories in the commentary? Nah, I'm just gonna leave that. Right, so yeah, it's the blessing of the Father to the Son, and we see that it's all about, okay, for at least for Jacob, it was all about like the same blessings of Abraham. You will have many cattle and all that stuff, and the field will be yours and all that. Yes, moving on.
And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father,
Let my father arise, and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me.
And Isaac his father said unto him,
Who art thou?
And he said,
I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau.
And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said,
Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed.
And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father,
Bless me, even me also, O my father.
And he said,
Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing.
And he said,
Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing.
And he said,
Hast thou not?
Right, so what's the difference between a birthright and a blessing? It's simple. Birthright is what the person is the person who's going to carry on the the genealogy of the Messiah. The birthright was given from Reuben to Joseph to Judah. We see that in 1 Chronicles 5:1-2. So it was passed on from Reuben to Joseph because Reuben, I think he had enough. He slept with Bilhah. I think that was the name, someone like that. So yeah, it was a dishonor. It was a not honoring his father. So it went down to Joseph. But for some reason, it just said that Judah prevailed over all his brethren. I kind of connect that with what Hannah said in the book of 1 Samuel. when she was happy that she received her child, she said, just speaking about Peninnah, by strength shall no one prevail, but only by the grace of God, something like that. So it's not by strength, not by might, not by strength, but by his spirit. So Judah probably was like Jacob, that he sought to humble himself rather than to exalt in his own strength, possibly like something like that. So Esau was strong, All them guys are strong. Judah, we don't see much about Judah. Actually slept with a prostitute and then had both sons, Perez and what's the other one's name? I've forgotten their names. Yeah, so he did that, but then Joseph was, he was an alright guy. Like, he did nothing wrong. These guys were all about the place, but then should have got the birthright for, I don't know why. I really don't know why. But it's in the eyes of God. He sees all hearts. Must have been a reason why someone like who? Like, was the most random person in the Bible that was chosen? Paul. Oh my goodness. He did so much, but then God sees the heart of the person and chooses the person. So, yeah, it's up to God really in the end. So birthright, that's the birthright. It's who is going to carry on the Messiah's genealogy. That's the whole thing about that. And for like the birthright with Ishmael or Isaac would be Isaac, because he was his own son, his only son, according to God. Through Isaac shall your seed be called. This is birthright. So the blessing is it's funny that they're kind of the same in Hebrew. I think birthright is bakar, then blessing is barak. So it's just like, can even be a play on words. So a blessing is a blessing. Like it's material things. It can be transferred into not really spiritual. It's just material things, really, because Esau was still blessed. So yeah, that's the basic difference. That is the basic difference, people. But the birthright is more important, just so you know, because you're having the Messiah in your. My goodness, man. Anyway, yeah, that's the birthright and a blessing. Now, why did this all happen to Esau? Because God foreknew it. He saw it beforehand. Actually, it wasn't supposed to happen at this time. I believe it wasn't supposed to happen this time. I believe something would have went wrong even if Jacob didn't go and supplant him. I believe maybe Isaac would have been like, oh, sorry, I forgot. Hey, just go on with your life, Esau. Just go and go and hunt again, and then maybe something would have happened, because God had already made, had predestined by His foreknowledge who would receive the blessing and the birthright. That's the difference between predestination and free will. And Jacob had the free will to choose whether he'd go with God's way or his own way. He chose his way, but he got the predestination, the predestined thing, by his own will. But he could have gotten it using God's will, which is waiting and doing everything in a just way, like Jesus did. Imagine Jesus going and tricking someone. Like, you can't even imagine that was with him. But us as human beings, we usually do this. We receive maybe a promise or whatever, and we say, oh, I'm going to do this by my own strength. No. Hey, okay, you might get the results, but that's not God's intended way. But you got the predestined thing. So yeah, there you go. But it's usually God's. What I see in the Bible is that God molds someone like Moses, and because you see with even Moses, he tried to go and lead the people of Israel before time had come. So God is all about the weight, the molding, right? Imagine Jesus could just begun his ministry at age 12, because he was smarter than all the Pharisees. You could have just come and said, you know what, guys, I'm taking over. No, he listened to the Father. He waited for the right time. But boom, blasted, boom, blasted into the scene. Let's go with that. Yeah, so it's a predestination and free will. Esau I've hated, Jacob I've loved. Jacob I've loved, Esau I've hated. He knows everyone. That's why people have, maybe you could say, some people are just gonna be saved in the end. Like, you might see someone is a Muslim, someone is that, like, if God's gonna see God knows already, because Romans 8 says, those whom he foreknew, he did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his son. So he didn't, he didn't predestine them to be like that. He didn't predestine them to trust in him. He didn't. He just predestined them to become like Jesus. That's the only thing he decided to do. And become like Jesus by being, by having what? Having the birthright. Because we become, James says we're the first fruits of all his creation. Yeah, what am I saying here? Right, so I'll just track back. He in his foreknowledge, he knows who's going to choose the right thing and the wrong thing. Through that, he predestines that, okay, now, angel, go here at this specific date and make sure this guy goes this way and that's that. Yeah, because he knows that this person has that God thing in him. It's a God nature to believe beyond the seen, to not trust in the physical things like Esau did, to not go after the physical, but trust in and to look up into the spiritual, like all the ancient, like Socrates and Abraham. They just decided to, I'm just gonna find God. Who asked them? No one. Anyway, yeah, there's that aspect to believers in Jesus. Moving on, I believe it touches that enough.
Reserved a blessing for me?
And Isaac answered and said unto Esau,
Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son?
And Esau said unto his father,
Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father.
And Esau looked.
So there were multiple blessings, but the birthright can't be multiple. It's just one. It's just one genealogy. So multiple blessings from the soul of the man. But he gave his major one, like he gave his heart and soul to Jacob. Then he just tried something with Esau here.
Lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him,
Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
And Esau hated.
No, I believe he broke the yoke in his lifetime. It wasn't a thing whereby he was, let's say what? His descendants had to break the yoke, but he broke the yoke. So Esau's descendants are not the Philistines, Palestinians. Those are the Abimelech and the Gerar people, not Gerar, like the people that were in that area. Those are the Philistines, the Palestinians. Edom is Mount Sinai, which is right about Saudi Arabia, so we can see why those people are blessed. He said, the fatness of the earth will be yours. Something of that nature. So he's saying, what's in the earth? You're gonna get, like they get oil from the ground. They just have the oil and they're rich and all that. Meanwhile, the Israelites they're just smart people. They just like, they come up with the greatest inventions. But still we can see that the Israelites have an upper hand all the time. Their enemies are so many, but they always have an upper hand over everybody else around them, whether it be Syria, Iraq, Iran, Jordan, whatever, Egypt, the 6-day war. Go read about it in or watch a video. Everyone who comes against them, they triumph somehow, some way. That is the blessing. They've been blessed greater than Esau. Yep. And also, to them belongs the Messiah's lineage. So we have to respect that as well. The devil doesn't respect that. He comes after them because they birthed the Messiah, though they didn't even believe in him in the end. It's actually mad. But in the end, they're going to believe in him. The whole country will believe in him. All Israel will be saved. Moving on.
Jacob, because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him, and Esau said in his heart,
The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
And these words of Esau her elder son were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob her younger son, and said unto him,
Behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, and arise, flee thou to Laban my brother to Haran, and tarry with him a few days, until thy brother's fury turn away, until thy brother's anger turn away from thee, and he forget that which thou hast done to him. Then I will send, and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day?
And Rebekah said to Isaac,
I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such as these which are of the daughters of the land, what good shall my life do me?
Chapter
Right,
28.
there we are, people. We are done with 27. Wasn't that interesting? Birthright and blessing, Jacob, Esau, predestination, free will. Yep, I will see you tomorrow.